Oi oi people, and welcome back to another episode of the Bogan Gooner Breakdown. Today we're going to be chatting about our transfer business this summer and just a little bit on Captain Granit Xhaka and his vaccination status. So without further, let's get straight into it, people. So there's been a lot of discussion about our transfer business this summer. I feel like a lot of the media has been quite negative about our transfer business. I feel like there's a feeling that we spent quite a lot of money and didn't get a lot done, which is fair in the sense that I don't think we had a marquee signing this season. There wasn't that big signing that shocks everyone, that comes out of nowhere, that really raises the ceiling of the team. Last year that was a party. The year before that it was a Pepe. We've had other signings like that, like an Ozil in the past, a Sanchez. These big signings that kind of come out of nowhere and everyone's like, wow, that could make a big difference. And I don't think Arteta's made a forward signing. Not an expensive one anyway. He's definitely played a part in holding on to players that may have left. Eddie, especially Lacazette as well. But I don't think he's paid big money for a forward. So let's get into it. Let's look at the players that we've brought in, have a little bit of a chat about each one of those. And then the players that have gone out and have a chat about that. And then some players that's still at the club. Who we may have wanted to move on. So first one I think to speak about is probably Ben White. I think White's a decent player, guys. I like him. I like the way he plays the centre-back position. I don't think he's worth 50 million quid. We've obviously overpaid there, but generally with signings that you pay too much for, it depends how the player goes. If he turns out to be a great player and he leads us towards something, which I think he was brought in to do, no one's going to be chatting about 50 million. If he's bang average, 50 million's going to be quite a constant topic of conversation, I think. So we're yet to see. The next one probably is Ramsdale. Guys, Ramsdale. Now, the news of the media around Ramsdale is that this was one that Arteta pushed quite heavily for. And I actually think Ramsdale is going to surprise a lot of people. I don't think he's as bad as the Twitter hype suggests. We didn't see him play short with Sheffield. But I do think he has much better feet than Leno, and I think that even from the one game that we've seen him play against West Brom, now it is West Brom and it is West Brom's under-23s as well, but there was one pass where he split the centre of the pitch and just passed straight up to, I can't remember who it was, but that's a pass that Leno never makes. So I think Ramsdale is going to surprise a few people, and I think he's going to be better than some people suggest. Odegaard. Now, Odegaard, I'm not entirely sure about, guys. Like, we saw what he could do when he was on loan with us. He wasn't too impressive. I think he got a couple of goals. I was really hoping for that position to have a player that had quite a high volume goal return, but we didn't go out and get that player. I would have preferred Maddison for that position. It wasn't to be, guys. It wasn't to be. Hopefully Odegaard can go on and help us out, do something, get us into that next bracket that we need to be in. Instead of being 8th, 10th, we need to be hitting 5th, 6th. I think that's the targets that we should be setting. So hopefully he can push us up there. Tavares, I don't mind Tavares as well. He is a player that he's very raw. There are still some aspects to his game that definitely aren't polished and definitely need polishing. He missed quite a few passes the last time I saw him play, like easy 5, 5 foot, 10 foot passes. So, yeah, look, he needs to polish up that part of his game, but I like him. I like his energy. I like he's quite direct. He runs at the opposition fullback. I think he's a good analog for Tierney, even though I don't think his crossing is as good as Tierney. I think he progresses the ball in a similar way to what Tierney does, and that's something that we haven't had as a backup. Lokonga, I'm stoked on Lokonga. I think he's great. I think he's going to be a fantastic player if we manage him right. Players do come into Arsenal and have a habit of becoming shit. That's happened to quite a few players. We brought them in, and all of a sudden they play like half a season, they look great, and then they just become shit because they're around our shithouse fucking team. That's useless. I guess we'll see on him, but I think he's one for the future, guys. I'm really stoked on him. And then we've got our boy Yasu coming in on deadline day as well. I don't watch Bologna. I don't really know much about him. He seems to be a centre-back, right-back hybrid. Hopefully he's good, guys. Hopefully he's good. One of the things that Callum Chambers really shit at is one-on-ones when he's got an attacker running at him. Yasu has quite good stats. So for all intents and purposes, he should be able to slot in at right back and offer a little bit more defensive cover. I don't like that means that our ball progression and attack is going to lean heavily to the left. I don't really like that. I prefer to have a two-pronged attack because I think we can become quite predictable. But we'll see. With Odegaard out there on the right, probably working with Saka, I would presume, on the right wing, or Pepe. Hopefully we can have a little bit more balance to our attack. And maybe with a Yasu behind them, those players will have a little bit more freedom. The other thing that I've seen in the Yasu clip that I've watched is he does this mad little dink. Just a little dink over behind the defenders. So maybe that's something that he can work on with Pepe. Not that I think Pepe is going to get much game time, though, because I think the arrival of Odegaard means that Saka's out on the right, ESR's on the left, and Odegaard is in the hole with Aubameyang up front. So look, guys, for the incomings, a lot of people have ragged off spending quite a lot of money without improving the first 11, and that's right. I don't think we did improve the first 11 that much. I think White is a first 11 player. I think that Odegaard, I guess, is a first 11 player. Not that I would play him in our first 11 necessarily, because I like what the Smith does when he's in the hole. Although I can see that he is quite good on the left. Emil. So, I think Odegaard's a first team player. I think White's a first team player. I think Yasu, I guess, is a first team player. That's mostly though because we have bare shit at right back. That's 3 first team players. I think Ramsdale is probably a first team player for us as well. Yeah, look, that's 4 signings that improve our starting 11. So I don't know if I necessarily agree with we didn't raise, we didn't improve our starting 11 because I think we've signed quite a few starting 11 players. To be honest, though, I don't think we improved it a hell of a lot. I don't think those players are outstanding. Any of them. And I do think that what we've done this window is really address the floor of our team rather than the ceiling of our team. We've brought in some backups to positions. We've brought in some players that are marginally better than the ones that we have. So I think we've raised our floor. We've made the worst that we can be a little bit better because our drop-off from our best 11 to our worst 11 was pretty far last season. So look, for incomings, guys, I'd give us a good rating. I as I said, I think we missed that marquee signing, but I reckon that's a 6 out of 10, maybe a 7 out of 10, to be honest. Now, if we talk about our outgoings, I think this is where everything fell apart. We've only had Willock that was sold, really. We had Willian, who's just cut his contract and left. And if you buy all the bullshit that Kia Jarabjian's coming out with, oh, he's such a noble man for abandoning his $20 million, that comes with shit from the moment that he stepped foot in this team. He's been shit the entire fucking time. So I'm not going to give him any fucking pat on the back for leaving and not taking his money. He didn't play, he didn't deserve his fucking money in the first place, if you ask me. Anyway, then we had a bunch of loans as well. Torreira's gone on loan, Doozy's gone on loan. I think the view is with him, I don't think he's coming back. Saliba's gone on loan, Nelson's gone on loan, Renarsen's gone on loan, and Bellerin's gone on loan. And it's just simply not good enough. Especially when you consider that we had offers for players like a Xhaka. I would have liked to see us move on from Granit Xhaka, and we'll talk about Xhaka in a minute. Eddie, why is Eddie not being sold? El Neni, why is El Neni not being sold? Kolasinac, why is Kolasinac still here? Cedric, I think, can get in the bin as well. Hopefully some of these players piss off to Turkey. That would be helpful. Ainsley's a weird one as well. I want to see him play now. If we've kept him and he doesn't play, I don't get it. And that's just poor man management, if you ask me, because that's how you piss people off. But as I said, guys, I'd give our outgoings. I think that's pretty crap. I'd give that, I don't know, a 2, a 1. A 1 for at least selling Willock. I guess we give them a 2 because they got a lot of players out on loan, but that doesn't really help, to be honest. I think we've loaned Saliba. We shouldn't have loaned Saliba because we're playing morons like Pablo Mari, but we won't get into it. I'll give them a 2 out of 10 for that. So, to be honest, guys, I think, even if we're looking at a 7 and we got a 2, that brings the average of this down to like a 4.5. Like it's a below average window, and I do think it is a below average window. But I do think that's because of our outgoings. I don't think it's because we've spent a lot of money and we haven't improved the team. I do think we've improved the team. I think we've improved the squad, and I think we've improved the first 11. So, like it's our selling that sucks, and our selling's been abysmal for years now. So that's not necessarily a new thing. All right. Now this is going to be a quick one, and just chatting about this Wallad Granit Xhaka. So this guy's tested positive for COVID. He got ruled out of the game, the Switzerland game against Greece. Switzerland seems to be the only time this brother performs on a football pitch, and he's ruled out of the game. The Swiss team's come out. They've said he isn't vaccinated. He's refused to be vaccinated. I don't want to delve into personal choice, whether you should be vaccinated, whether you shouldn't be vaccinated. For people generally in society, I think you should all have your own choice as to what you want to do. I actually got my first jab this morning. I feel fine. Obviously not gonna fucking burst into flames or anything. But for a professional sportsman, you look at the way, and maybe this is selfish, but you do look at the way that this affects Arsenal. And to be honest, guys, I don't give a shit about Granit Xhaka. I do give a shit about Arsenal. And, him not being vaccinated and making it more likely that he could contract the virus, could spread the virus to other players of ours. And, COVID has already wreaked havoc with our first game of the season. That game, arguably, they were pushing for it to be cancelled, weren't they? So, I just think the guys are Wallad. Mourinho has written on his bloody Instagram, he said, "Get the jab, Granit, and be safe." And Granit replied, "Thank you, mister." Which is just like, come on, man. Like, I honestly think we should have dragged that fucking brother out the back of the Emirates and put a bullet in his head when we had the chance. I can't believe we didn't sell him and move on. People go, 10 million isn't enough for Xhaka. Yeah, but look at what 10 million gets you in the window. Like, if we got rid of Xhaka for the 10 million and we bring in a Renato Sanchez on loan, is that not an improvement to our squad? It absolutely is. Even if just evidenced by the fact that the prick has got a red card already. We're 3 games into the season. Now, look, I understand tackles like that aren't always given as a red, but when you got 2 feet off the ground, you're asking the referee to make a decision. And unfortunately, Xhaka has a sort of reputation where the decision is always going to be walk. So he needs to just understand that now. You know, the fact that people talk about this brother being responsible and they have to go all the way back to his childhood and his mum giving him a fucking key to the house to demonstrate how responsible he is. Mate, I can tell you how responsible I am by examples of stuff that I did last week, last month, last year. We're going all the way back to your fucking childhood to get into it, brother. You're not responsible. You're a fucking Wallad. You're a fucking Wallad. Anyway, I've had enough of that, Donny. I'm glad he's out for the next couple of games. I hope that when he is fit again, we still see Lokonga and Partey in the midfield. I think that's a partnership that could be really good for us. Anyway, guys, that's it. I reckon transfer window below average, but because of our sales and Jack is a Wallad, that's it. I'll catch you all next time. Laters.